Hello, my name is Dr. Sarbin Haq, and today I'll be discussing 13 steps for Bangladeshi medical students or graduates to come and work in the UK. So, all these 13 steps, I'll give a brief overview. I won't get too much into the details. It's just to give people who have little to no idea about the whole process to familiarize themselves with the situation. And in the end, I'll give some important links so that you can have other sources to understand the whole process. And before I begin, this is not by any means a brainwashing session to come to the UK. Rather, I'd just like to convey the information that I know, and hopefully it can help you make a decision when the time comes. Alright, so let's begin. Step number 1 is gathering your money. The whole Pleb process requires a lot of registration fees, going to the UK, examination fees, and all other accommodations, and a lot of other things which I will get into the details of. So usually these require anywhere between 6 to 6.5 lakh taka. It's not necessary that it has to be your own money. It can be your sponsor, for example, your parents or your family members, or someone close to you. Usually you don't need to have all the money together in the bank. A lot of it goes in registration fees and other costs, but when you do apply for a Pleb 2 visa later on, you need a certain amount in the bank, which I'll get into the details of. So that's the number 1 concern, is gathering the money. Number 2 is preparing for your IELTS. Now, IELTS is the biggest barrier for Pleb exams, according to me. I've seen a lot of people struggle a lot through these processes. So the IELTS exam, you have to give the general or the academic or the UKV. UKV is usually required for your Tier 2 visa. However, if you give that UKV exam, it covers both your Pleb exams and your Tier 2 visa. The exam itself, you need a score of 7.5 out of 9 with no less than 7 in each of the reading, writing, listening and speaking sections. Now, from my experience, most of the Bangladeshis, they do struggle in the writing portion. My belief is that most graduates have already a score of 6 or something like that, and it just requires a bit of more preparation for getting that required score. However, it's perfectly normal to maybe give the exam once or twice. However, I've seen people pass through easily too. So IELTS, you have to work a bit on it. You can go to various coaching centers available. You can prep from YouTube videos. A lot of online sources and free materials are available if you just look for them. And it's best to prepare with a friend so that your speaking and your other things can be assessed properly. So that's step number 1, your IELTS. Step number 2. Step number 3 is the Pleb 1 exams itself. So the good news is the Pleb exams, the part 1, do take place in Bangladesh. They happen twice a year, in March and November. It's best when you target your exams to give your IELTS in such a way that you have enough time to maybe give another exam if you do bad, and have enough time to book and get the results, and then apply for your Pleb 1 exams before the GMC registration. Now, the Pleb exams itself are 200 marks. It consists of 3 hours, and you need a passing mark of somewhere between 150 and 120 usually. It covers the basic clinical scenarios you're expected to know by your 5th year. However, there are a few topics which we really don't study, which are really emphasized on the Pleb exams. For example, psychiatry, medical ethics. These are things you really need to be aware of. And the good news is there are a lot of free sources and free materials and advices and helplines all available online. I'll give the links again, like I mentioned towards the end. Now, that's step number 3, the Pleb exams itself. Step 4 is GMC account. Well, it should be done before your Pleb 1 exams. You have to open a GMC account where you fill in your basic info, your MBBS course duration, and some other information, and you have to input your IELTS test results there. And it's best to prepare your GMC registration account before your Pleb exams, and maybe keep the international card ready for £230 It's important, and I'm mentioning this because it's really hard for a lot of Bangladeshis to make this international transaction. So you need to find someone who can help you with this transaction. So immediately when you get your IELTS results, you can book a date and so not delay the whole process. Right, so that's step number 4. Step number 5 is the Pleb 2 visa. So you've given your Pleb 1 exams. It usually takes about 1 month for the results to come out. So during this time, it's best that you prepare all your paperwork, your cover letter, your financials, your bank account, your sponsor's bank account, their transactions, affidavit, your coaching, where you're going to do coaching, where you're going to stay. Prepare all, get a preliminary idea of all these so that when your results do come out, you immediately again get an international card and book your exams for Pleb 2, which is around 840 or 850 pounds, because the seats fill up very quickly, and if you delay after getting your Pleb 1 results, you're going to find a date a lot back. So keep everything ready, get your Pleb 1 results, log in, book your Pleb 2 dates, you have all your paperwork ready, fix them, apply for a visa. The quicker the better. Now step number 6 is the Pleb 2 exam preparations. Hopefully by now you've gotten your visa and you've gone to the UK and you've come to an accommodation. So usually there are 3 coaching centers in UK which are very good: Samson, Swami and Hamid. It really doesn't matter which one you go to, because in the end it all depends on you. The course itself usually lasts around 13 to 15 days, and they will have some mocks at the end of the course to help you prepare for the real exam. And they will also guide you through the main problems we Bangladeshis face, that is interpersonal skills. I know it sounds bad, but however, we really don't work on this as much as we should. But however, nothing to worry about. You will be nurtured on how to show sympathy, empathy, and all the necessary things for the exams. Now, step 7 is the Pleb 2 examinations itself. The examination consists of 18 stations. Each station consists of 12 marks and is for 10 minutes. These 12 marks are again divided into 3 subsections: 4 marks for your history taking, 4 marks for your management, and like I said, 4 marks for your interpersonal skills. So they really don't look for your knowledge. It's very basic MI treatment, asthma treatment, and stuff, these scenarios like these which you're used to. However, it's your interpersonal skills, your sympathy, your empathy, how you break a bad news, how patient you're with, how patient you are with the patient, which really matter. And these are the things which will increase your mark. So usually the total score is 216, and the pass mark is somewhere between 105 to 110, and you need to pass at least 11 stations. So you do understand that it's not that difficult. However, if you do overcome the barriers, the Pleb 2 exams itself are very simple, because they really don't look for a good doctor, rather they look for a safe doctor. Alright, so step number 8, you've given your Pleb exams. Now step number 8 is the GMC registration and ID check. Now there's 2 ways people go about after their Pleb 2 exams. A lot of people come back to the country and wait for the results, after which usually take a month, and then they book a ticket and come to the UK for their registration. Others, like me for example, prefer to stay and wait for that 1 month, get the results, do our GMC registration and ID check, get a job, secure a job, and then come back to the country for the Tier 2 visa. It's a bit complicated, I know, but hopefully when I get into the depths, you'll understand. The GMC registration process requires a few documents which are very important: your passport, your MBBS certificate, your internship ending certificate, your BNDC good standing certificate, and your IELTS results, and any job you have had after you've passed. Documents and proof that you've had a job during this period of time. Basically, what they want is an evidence of everything you have done from the moment you've passed your final prof, from the moment you're done with the exams of final prof up to that date. They need documentations on everything. The more documentations you have, the better it is. And it roughly costs, if you're graduated within 2 years, it'll cost you £200 for the registration, and if it's after 2 years, it'll cost you around £400. And yeah, that's the GMC registration ID check. It's best you book a date as soon as possible, because you don't want to be waiting there and having a date after a long time. So the quicker you book a date for your ID check, the better it is. And usually they want all these documents in a PDF form, and then they assess the whole document, and then they send back a letter to you, email to you saying that yeah, do come for an ID check, you're good to go. And then I come to my step number 9, NHS jobs. So it takes a long time to get a job. Not a long time per se, a month or so, because the jobs stay online for at least a month or so. So even if you apply, they won't call you before the deadline of the job is over. So it's best to start applying for jobs as soon as possible. Personally, I would say apply for all the jobs. Really doesn't matter what are they going to do, and hopefully you'll get a job. You'll get an interview call after your Pleb results, during your waiting period for the GMC registration, and maybe afterwards. So the sooner you get it and the sooner you can confirm your job, the quicker the whole process gets. Now the jobs are available on the NHS websites, and the good news is there is an acute shortage of doctors in the UK right now. So it's very easy to get jobs, and the whole process is very simple. You have to open an application, you have to make a CV on the website, and then apply to the jobs, all the jobs, and they'll call you for an interview. Calling you for an interview means you have been shortlisted among 5 people. Sometimes they immediately offer you the job, which is very good, and if you're all okay with it, you can take the job. The interview itself is rather simple. What they would ask you is to go through your CV, and then maybe ask you 1 or 2 very simple clinical scenarios, which are very easy and something that you can easily solve. So that's step number 9. So you have gotten your GMC registration, you have gotten a job offer. So step number 10 is confirming your job. Giving a job offer is the preliminary step. Afterwards, they would have to issue you a certificate of sponsorship. What that is basically they'll send a letter to the government, UK government, saying that they have posted this job offer for a period of time, and no British citizen or EU citizens applied for the job, and you are the best candidate for the job. And then the government will give permission to the hospital to let you have the job. So that is basically what a certificate of sponsorship is. That's the most vital piece of paper you will need for your Tier 2 visa. You'll also need to clear your occupational health check. If you're back in the country, that's fine. You can go join and then do it. Really doesn't matter. Once you've got the job, it's just a process of technicality. That's all. Step number 11 is your Tier 2 visa. You've done all these steps and you've come back to your country, and you might have to wait for a period of time for the hospital to issue your certificate of sponsorship, but they'll email it to you as soon as possible. It's best you keep annoying the HR to prod them to hurry the process up. They won't really mind. And so after you've gotten your certificate of sponsorship, you apply for your Tier 2 visa. During this waiting period before you get the certificate of sponsorship, you should get your police clearance certificate by then, and get your TB test done at the International Office of Migration, because you will be needing these documents when you apply for the visa. So the visa, once you have all these papers, you apply for the visa, you have to go to the VSF office and submit all your documents. It's pretty straightforward, really not much troubling. The Tier 2 visa costs around 65,000 taka. And yeah, this all falls under the initial cost estimate that I gave you. And then you have to just wait for your visa. And the certificate of sponsorship will contain the date of your starting of the job. So hopefully you'll get your visa by then. And then step number 13 is to fly to the UK and start your job. Step number 12, my bad. And that is pretty much it, a basic overview of the whole ideas. I have added one more step, step 13. It's not really a step, rather it's an alternate. Yes, you can give your MRCS, MRCP, MRCOG, or any of the Royal College exams, and if you pass them and have your IELTS, then you can directly apply for a register post in the UK. That's also a very good alternative. It really depends on what stage of your career you're in, or how much time you want to spend. It's a completely personal choice. These are the 13 steps required for a medical student and graduate of Bangladesh to work in the UK. Notice that I've just given a brief idea so that you get an overall description. There's a lot to discuss in each of these points itself. I haven't really got into them. However, if you find this video useful and you would want me to maybe discuss the other things with you, I'd be glad to help. Do let me know. The best thing about the IELTS, the whole process is you'll find guidance in every step of the way. When I was in the UK, I really saw a good, strong community between the Indians and the Pakistanis among themselves. However, there was a scarcity of guidance from Bangladeshis, and however, nowadays it's changing. We are finding a lot of people who are helping other Bangladeshis, so it's a good time to give the exams and think about a career there. However, I'm not brainwashing you, I'm just giving giving you the other information. There are a few pages I'd like to mention which are very useful for these whole processes. Facebook page called Pleb, that's the Bible. It has all the resource materials you would ever need. A page by a very favorite senior of mine called Pleb for Bangladeshi Doctors. It's tailored especially for Bangladeshis who are giving the Pleb. It's a beautiful page with all the information you need. I have my own personal page, Hawk Pleb. You can check that out too. And there are a few blogs, mainly Omar's Guideline and Nasi's Journey. All the information I've told you, you can find all of them in these blogs. They're brilliantly done, brilliantly written by these people who just want to help others. And finally, my friend Ibrahim's blog, Ibrahim's Road to UK, where it's written, the blog is written for Pleb, people who want to give Pleb from a Bangladeshi point of view. So that is something unique you should look into. And do share this video if you found it useful, and if you would like more videos like this, please do let me know. And best of luck with your preparations, and I hope I was helpful. Thank you.